And we're live.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. What happened last time? That's my intro.
Right. Reading my notes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lift to an impressive office where gravity didn't work properly, and we all were impaled on spikes on the ceiling. We spent several handfuls of hit points trying to find the gravitational crystal to try break it, which were on the floorboards. Managed to do that. However, we all then fell off the spikes, taking more damage, hitting the floor, probably taking more damage. So, in this office, once we actually got to look around, there's a red crystal on an altar, which was like seeping liquid. And I think, if remind me if correct, there was like pipes and stuff going into the crystal, and that's something to do with like utilizing or maybe like crystallizing the necrotic energy which is in the facility behind the door. There was a chest. That's what I've written. I've got some vials of some necrotic vials I've written. Let's have a look. 3 gems. Oh, there was an item that I got, which I'll look at later. I've written that the fountain is a manifest zone, which is now making me feel, which if I remember correctly is really daunting and scary.
Yeah, the black energy inside the room that has kind of 5 empty dragon shards in front of it. And you've also spotted 5 panels, or like, at least you found the kind of launch codes for them. That apparently five kind of buttons need to be pushed for this door to open, for the energy to be compressed, basically. Currently, it's kind of unleashed inside that room, and it's just covers this entirety of the shell of the mountain, rather, the inside of it. The launch codes are the panels that, if activated, would compress this energy, and thus making it actually kind of malleable, and it would be able to open it then, because it would be just this concentrated mass that could be modified.
And then we were wondering if it, like, because we could compress it, and then we could go into the place and go around and do stuff, and hopefully make it so the portal won't open. And the portal won't open to stop Ivan's plan. But we weren't quite sure that if we did open the door, if we'd be able to close it again. So maybe the better thing to do would be to like ruin all the machinery so the door will never open. And then we heard lots of movement upstairs, and there was going to be an ambush set for us.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was one of the family that was sent to you. One of the remaining members of Ivan Furius's family that was laying down an ambush for you. But unfortunately, you garnered that information and managed to successfully ambush the ambushers, really. And you currently are left with a bunch of bodies on the floor of the observatory, and a very frazzled, panicked-looking Zook who is still holding the tray with the tea on it, and staring at you, and then looking back towards where you came, which is this hatch that he was unaware of in his home that would lead down into some horrible inside of the mountain. He stares back at you, stares at the bodies. What the hell are you people doing? I thought you'd be dead.
Why would you think such a thing? We
Well,
told
you
you we
were
are
gone
very...
for so long. I thought, I mean, why would you kill Sebastian was an arcanics professor. I don't understand any of this.
Well,
Who are you people, really?
As a member of Arcanics myself, as we discussed a few days ago, that person is an imposter, not the real Sebastian, you know.
But he like you knew the song to the house. He knew everything. I don't.
I do not know if we've told you this, and we've touched on it briefly, that there is the energy beneath there in this facility is sought after by a very powerful man.
Okay.
And these people...
He wipes blood from his face that it's spattered.
And these people... They were part of an organization trying to get hold of this power for nefarious means. We were hoping to not have you bear witness to such extreme acts of violence. We were trying to protect you. I'm sorry that it has come to this way. Do you need to sit down? Do you want to make you a cup of tea?
Well, the tea's ready, actually.
Well, let me pour. I'll go over and I'll start pouring him some tea.
Okay. He grabs the cup and he kind of...
It's okay. I'll take him to like a bench to sit down. I'll pull out a handkerchief and I'll let him clean himself up.
He is just kind of slowly, the steaming cup of tea in front of his face is just looking at the mess of, what is it, 5 or 6 bodies in front of him.
At this point, I would like to land my eagle. So I'm still
Yeah, the eagle lands, the giant eagle.
I'll look at Stan and I know the spell. This is that's a mighty steed you have. I haven't quite used an eagle before with this spell though. It's mostly been land-based creatures, but this is very creative.
You know, I've never used it on a land-based creature. That
Really?
never occurred to me. No, it's mainly
Interesting.
Giant wasps and dolphins. So,
I'm not dolphins. I'm not familiar with this creature.
oh, they're really something.
Wow. Huh. I've mostly just been, horse, ram.
I suppose you could use it for a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
knights.
a great idea.
Yeah, knights and all that. Just
Never thought of it. I will have to try that at some point.
perhaps one day we could gloriously ride into battle side by side
Oh, I would love
on a mighty 4-legged land-based steed.
that. Sounds excellent.
Yes.
Perhaps in a day and a half's time.
Ah, yes.
And,
Of course.
our
When the
fate
siege
comes.
comes. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that all the time that we have left?
I don't quite know, but so I don't have any notes with me.
You have...
Think around that.
Yeah, you have basically a day, 20, let's say, like, around 30 hours. You're not sure, but around that.
DM.
Mm-hmm.
Before too much time passes. Okay, this is kind of a meta question because I know something that the character doesn't know.
Love
As
those.
I'm sort of standing relatively near this steaming pot of tea,
Mm-hmm.
can I maybe make a perception? Like, does it smell weird? Like, I'm trying to think of a way to not be horribly meta about it, and I'm failing, but.
But because we didn't know about the tea, did we?
No, you didn't.
No, cool, yeah.
It's up to
Great.
you if Stan would be naturally suspicious of that. I'll trust your judgment.
I don't want to say-
We didn't see when we came in. We didn't see them carrying the pot of tea. Did we see Zook carry a pot of tea? Did we
You
see
saw-
where the tea came from?
Yeah, you saw Zook and I mean, I don't have my nose either. Wait, did I? Oh, Morit and Zook. Morit being the assassin.
Yeah.
Them both kind of handling the tea. They were, and the two others were there in the room, and they were kind of off in the distance from what the dwarf Leonis. This is gonna be an exercise in improv for me. Leonis
Should we
kind
go
of
somewhere else? Should we just move this and go, oh, the university exploded. Here's a new section of Eberron.
Yeah, for whoever is watching in the audience, all of my notes from the last 2 years went corrupt, so I have nothing. I have nothing. That's the end of the sentence. Anyway, so yeah, you would have seen Morit and Zook preparing tea.
Zook, did you make that tea?
She kind of just finishes a gulp. Well, I certainly helped. It's good. It's a certain kind of mint that grows here. It takes a little bit of a process. You actually have to infuse it in cold water first, and then you kind of put in the warm water. But the professor, Sebastian, took to it quite well. He was. Well, never mind.
That's a fascinating process. Most of my tea I had within Shannon, and it came in horrible little bags. It's lovely having the fresh stuff and hearing sort of like just trying to comfort him, surrounded by the bodies. Absolutely oblivious to that the tea is probably poisoned.
Make a persuasion check.
A persuasion check. Oh yeah, just to keep him calm.
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion. It's an 18.
Ooh. 18. Yeah, you kind of manage to keep him calm at least as he kind of keeps drinking the tea.
I'll as this is going on, I'll sort of look around and I'll just sort of move towards one of the bodies, and I don't mean to sully such a glorious battle, but as you've seen before, I'll sort of drag the body behind the pillar and nibble a bit just to keep my strength up.
Okay.
So I haven't eaten in like, I don't know, at least half a day, right?
That's true.
I'll do it like out
At least 100 years, right?
When our first battle, I like bit and
Oh
drained
yeah,
blood,
that's right.
so I'll do it like outside of Zook's field of vision, so he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's an odd process because it's not something that you're really comfortable or familiar with, but it's almost like some sort of a beast inside you takes over. I imagine it's sort of like I'm like sort of military training, like this is time for nutrition. I'm gonna just I don't know. Yeah, it's odd. You get a little bit of his blood on your kind of fingers, and just almost oddly, automatically, you kind of lick them clean, and you don't stop to think how odd that is before you kind of almost black out for a moment, and when you come to seconds later, you can feel blood dripping down your beard.
I apologize. This is very new to me.
I'll sort of like round the corner just as you're doing that, like standing on top of the private. We should discuss this. I've not studied much vampirism in my research. Quite interesting to talk, and also why they chose to out of. Yes, it's very interesting.
This is all very new to me as well. I had no idea really what they were going to turn me into. When I volunteered, they just said, I would be stronger and more powerful, which I mean, I guess I am in some ways. I can walk on walls apparently, also something very new.
Very handy as well.
Yes, indeed. It's just I'm not quite sure how to feel about this.
Well,
This is strange. But it was tasty, I guess? I don't know. This is very odd. I apologize. I don't usually stammer like this.
well, I really do not know what to say in this situation, to be quite frank with you. Zook, how are you doing over there?
Yeah, during that, can I with Zook, kind of. So sorry, what? Can you talk me through the sequence of events from this man walking through the door?
Well, it was he and his friend came about a couple of hours after you left. They knocked on the door, and well, they told me they were from Arcanics. They were here for the latest data, which of course I told that it's very odd because there's just so many people from Arcanics coming here in the last day. But he said that's okay, that they sent a party ahead to investigate the mountain itself, which seemed to kind of corroborate your story. I, of course, welcomed them to my space, offered them tea. They were very hesitant to go below. Instead, they really asked about you, how many of you were there, how you were dressed, if you had any weapons, that type of data, which I happily gave that to them. And then they offered to wait until you'd return, and we made tea, and we waited. Well, we waited here for a while.
I see. And while Zook's saying this, do I notice anything about his?
Is he going green? Is he slurring?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
With a 14, you notice a kind of a slight change in focus as he speaks to you. Like he starts to slowly, his eyes are starting to glass over and kind of looks past you a little bit.
Okay. Are you feeling all right?
I'm gonna, and he slumps forward, and you hear the teacup land and break against the floor, echoing throughout the room. He kind of just lands on the floor.
Oh, Zook. Oh, he must have never seen sort of such a ghastly fray like that before. I mean, to be fair, I felt quite oozy the first couple of battles that I fought with Gooseneck and Sons. It makes sense.
He does seem like a frail sort. Who did you say he was again?
He's the proprietor of this observatory.
Oh, yes. Well, poor fella. Maybe get him a pillow or something.
Would you lift him to his bed?
Yes, of course. I'll just put him on. Is there a bench or something?
I mean, there's his room with a small
okay.
bed in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll bring him there.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as he stepped forwards, I would kind of want to reach out and, like, does he still have a pulse? Like, assess immediately what's going on.
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
Kind of in tow with Adalbrecht as Adalbrecht is walking away. You're like, wait, 1 second. With a 16, you're pretty sure he's not breathing. And as Adalbrecht puts him onto the bed, you kind of lean closer and you don't hear him breathing. You don't. But then as you try for the pulse, it is there. It is very faint. Like it's almost like easily somebody who wouldn't know what to look for could easily say that he's dead if they didn't know better.
Okay. I will try immediately lay on hands, and I think I'd first try like giving him a hit point. We'll see if that would do anything.
That doesn't seem to change anything.
Stan, what's
What is
happening?
was he
he's,
hurt in the battle or?
I think he's dying. I
Oh,
don't
From what?
quite-
what is? I think he just passed out.
Can I lay on hands and try? I'm so sorry, my internet's being really. So I don't know if I'm probably very delayed. Can I try and lay on hands and expend 5 hit points to cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it?
Yeah, as you do this, you feel the breath kind of return. He starts breathing again normally. You notice actually that the color had kind of drained from his face and is now returning. But he seems to be asleep.
He was poisoned.
Inglot has a cup of tea and goes,
How did you?
"Oh,
Oh,
I think so.
that was a very good spot.
yes, very well observed.
I had not even thought of such a thing."
Well, it seemed a very sudden. Very sudden. I think shock tends to not kick in quite that way. So.
Good thing you are here.
Sorry, I'm struggling with internet. You two have a conversation.
Well, thank God we have Stan.
Yes.
Thank the sovereign that I was made into a cloud, so I could spot all of this.
It was very fortunate. Yes, if they had happened to sprung upon us, or if we had been weakened and we had come up here, we could have been in a lot of trouble, and all of this could have been for nothing. But you must, Leonis, you must know that our plight is true now.
Well, I know that somebody attacked you, and they were a weird bunch.
Assassins.
But I think there's something true to what you speak of. Again, it's going to be very difficult for me to get to my queen in such a fast time.
And it is something that we don't have. Won't you reconsider staying with us until tomorrow, until the attack?
Well, I think that's up to you. Whether you want me to stay here and help in the fight that's coming, or do you want me to, well, try to reach a town, maybe get somebody to teleport me somewhere, make my own way. I can't promise I'd be back, but in time.
I need some rest, but I could send you to Arcanix. But I won't be able to do that until that fight in this day has taken quite a lot out of me. I need to rest.
I think at some point we're going to need to do we only have a limited amount of time and resources left. We probably need a serious strategical chat about how we want to expend those resources and which of our friends, or at least acquaintances who don't totally hate us, we can try to call on in this moment.
How? And how would they get here?
That's a good question and something to consider. One thing that has just occurred to me. Oh, go on. That was a noise.
No, I was thinking I could send one of us into someone's dream, but still, we would have to get in contact with someone extremely powerful to get them here in time.
I mean, we have met a king.
We have.
A king, you say?
Yes. the King of Breland.
I thought he's like insane or something.
He was. You could hold a conversation with him. He had his own agenda. Let's put it that way. And also, I don't think the king will be very pleased with us.
No. There are
Oh,
other people there.
We did meet a dragon, but they didn't seem too keen to help us.
You met it. Okay, I'm gonna just ignore that. You're a wizard. Can't you just pop in and people in and out of here?
No, I don't know where you have got this from. It's a very difficult magic. You need runes and 2 places that link. As I say, I can send you to Arcanix. I know how to send someone there, but I cannot do that until tomorrow.
Okay, this is horrible because I don't have my notes. And I know, DM, you don't have yours, so apologies.
I will try and go through mine. What do you need?
Okay, this is also an old reference. I think we got a flying letter from I've forgotten his name now as well. The head of one of the houses, not the head, but
Alden Orion?
Alden
Orion. And I think we might still have that flying letter that you can kind of write stuff on and it flies to them. But that could, maybe we don't. I don't know.
That's not something I have.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if Fennec used it or not. Because you definitely had it at some point, but I don't remember if you sent it or not. But I think again, it would still take that letter. Also, would take a lot of time because it's a literal flying letter that would fly at a certain speed.
This is so horrible again. I'm sorry. A follow-up, which is even worse. Something I think I do have, this is from over a year ago, is a sending stone, which the other end goes to the person who was Alden Duryan's assistant
Vishta.
before he went off on his own journey. We don't have to dive into that now, but
I mean, you have it.
Maybe.
You can certainly try and talk to it.
I don't know if he would be in contact with Alden Duryan. I'm just thinking in terms of transporting people quickly. House Orion,
They
the people for that.
They have control of teleportation circles, but I do not know if anyone in their house has true teleportation. I mean, Leonis, one of the people that you were with, they could teleport. I was fascinated by that magic.
Well, again, I'm not an expert on any of this crap, but I think you need, well, you can teleport a certain amount of people anywhere, but not everybody. I think it's limited in scope. But there's, I've seen my friends make circles in certain places in Corvair for ease of access, but those are very difficult to do, I think.
Yes, so you can either... It needs to be already established. Unless Zook has an established teleportation here that we can somehow get that information to Orion, then perhaps an army could be sent here instantly. I could enter in his dream tonight. I've met him once. I could give him the information of what this teleportation would be, or speak to him. I am partly concerned also about what is beneath here and how we deal with it. whether we try to take it out of commission forever. Would I know if it's possible to close an unopened portal for good?
You mean a manifest zone, the portal?
Yeah, because that's what these portals are. They're manifest zones. Is that right?
Make an Arcana check.
Come on, give me something good. That's pretty good. That's a 27.
27. All right. One second.
Google, can you close a manifest zone?
Almost. I have like a very old version of some of the lore that I have. So, what you know about manifest zones are that they're deeply dependent on the location where that zone leads. Kind of that is a big aspect of it. Like if that cosmology wise that location is nearby, then the zone is more potent, basically. But a lot of information about manifest zones is mysterious. Furthermore, specifically, what the Katashka, the gatekeeper's kind of thing seems to be, and Ivan's thing seems to be that they're not actually trying to, per se, go to another plane of existence. But more than that, they want to use that energy to kind of tunnel into Kuiper, which is the ground beneath the land that you're on, and where the Overlord is entombed, and bring them out that way. So, insofar as your question, can you close a manifest zone? No. It probably will always be opened more or less. If the place that it leads to is far away on the cosmic scale, then perhaps you could cut off the kind of entrance to it, but there's always a chance that you can open it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I don't have anything of magical means to offer, but if we're facing a siege, then we could potentially have 4 strong warriors on our side still, my comrades.
Yes, we need to
who,
find them.
by all accounts, should have been turned into something similar as I am. So that's 4 capable, able-bodied soldiers would be a great boon, I believe. If there is no time to summon an army, then an elite force would have to do.
Okay.
If we could find them, then at least there would be a... Well, let's say we specialized in what we achieved here just now.
Inkblot, sorry, just to add, because I just read this as well and I remembered this. The Druids have done this. The Druids have made specific seals that cut off manifest zones. So they have the knowledge to do that. That's the closest. Well, we have, what is it? A day? I don't know how much time we have, but
Just over a day.
we could turn the place upside down, look for things. There's the storage room. We could set some traps, maybe.
Is there any siege weaponry or anything, perhaps? Could we cave in some entrances, perhaps funnel forces in, or is it this Ivan? Will they just teleport in wherever they want?
They could teleport in whatever they want. They've done it to us before. I don't know. I wonder if I could, even for a short amount of time, dispel the magic surrounding the manifest zone to make it more difficult to open. Also, do we want to open this door, or do we want to break everything so it is impossible to open?
how powerful of a wizard is this Ivan? Would the door stop him? Even a broken door?
I think he is powerful, but the particular object he wields is even more powerful.
Yes. He has something called the key wand. If we can ever able to get that away from him, that will give us a mighty boon.
Yes, the wielders of magic are quite the nuisance when they're not on your side. That is.
Yes.
Another thing, I'm sorry, I'm throwing out things all over the place. I do wonder if we have some allies who we might not be able to get to us here, but who might be able to get to one of the other portals. Whether it would be worth trying to send them in that direction at the same time, so that perhaps even if we fail here, there will be a chance that they could close another portal. And I don't know if we can send a message or something to just try and bit of a backup.
We could send a dream, but I wouldn't be able to go in to the manifest zone today.
What if we just kill that Ivan guy? Like, no offense, Ink, but an axe in the back of a wizard kills any wizard.
It's very true.
I think that's very much part of the ideal situation, for sure.
So let's attack. Let's go on the offensive. What are we waiting for? Just let's find him and then kill him.
It is where he will appear, who he will bring with him.
You know, it's not a bad thought, actually. I mean,
Perhaps could we just lay an ambush, and regardless of who is with him, we all just concentrate on him. Regardless of what happens to us, shock and awe, and such.
Focusing all our power on him is a definite thing we should do. He will most likely keep his distance. He can fly, so if we keep him in an enclosed place, if that's where we have our stand. But also, if he can avoid us, he will. So if we can make it so there's something that he needs that he has to go through us. Say the dragon shards that keep the door closed. He has to get them from us before he can. Or if there's something. Mateus, am I right in thinking that these manifest zones, they're like, in my head, they're like small little beads of energy that he's expanding and he's making them bigger so stuff comes through, and then we've been fighting the stuff that's been coming through. Is that right?
So, no. Oddly enough, it's almost exactly the opposite of that. So basically, right now, the manifest zone is fully kind of formed but contained in this laboratory, so to speak, in this containment field. What the observatory's equipment can do is pressurize it, basically push it into this small kind of thing that can then be used. And what Ivan wants to do then is to use that almost as a kind of a knife that would cut down into Kyber and open a tunnel into Kyber, where the Overlord resides. So really, it's less about opening a portal. It's more like using the energy that otherwise would be a manifest zone in its own nefarious needs and deeds.
So we definitely want to destroy this equipment because we don't want him to be able to turn it into a drill, a magical drill, a magical portal drill. So,
let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's just he takes his axe, starts walking towards the.
Well, reading the papers that we've been looking at, we could also send this whole place into a meltdown and blow ourselves up, and then just expose an entire manifesto onto this entire part of the continent.
Right. And he drinks some tea
No, do
and
not
then
drink the
spits it
tea.
out. Ah, so dumb. Sorry. Continue.
I mean, the idea of going on the offensive is feeling
We
tempting.
lay an ambush at one of the dragon shards. We try to deactivate them all. They'll have to go around activating them all, and then we lay an ambush at one of them.
We know exactly each of the 5 places they need to be, right?
We do.
There's pretty good chances that we'll meet them in before they get to the last one.
Yes.
Does he know that you are here?
Yes.
Okay.
He is constantly scrying on us.
It's that
So
thing that clerics do. Yes, yes.
anything that we say could be... He could have heard. He could be listening to this right now. Ivan, are you there? Do you have anything else you would like to offer us?
You just hear the wind outside howling.
You must think we are idiots. Why don't you just come here now?
Make a persuasion. No.
Don't give the DM ideas.
I'll kill him. No.
I've got 1 spell slot left. Now.
Yeah. So hold on. I want to before I release this idea completely. Do I get the impression that me teleporting into the manifest zone and then trying to dispel magic it is probably not going to help the situation?
Yeah, with a 27, the fact that there were kind of entire druidic sects whose entire meaning for existence was to try and gatekeep, to cut off these manifest zones or to deal with them, and they, barely have managed to do this, or barely managed to kind of somehow through mystic means manage to do this. You at this point probably the power isn't there just quite yet. You have, oddly enough, you have some theoretical ideas, and you're itching to kind of put them into practice, and they might even work. But there's another voice in you that says that maybe the ambition is kind of out yelling reason here.
So, this evening, I could send messages to 2 people through their dreams.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's something we should make use of, for sure. It's
So-
just which 2 people and quite what we want to ask of them or tell them.
Anyone who has access to powerful mages with the ability to get here very quickly.
More grave.
No. They are bastards. They are the enemy. And they're not very clever.
Okay. Hit a nerve there.
So, speaking to Alden is probably a good idea.
It should be a priority.
Is Zook awake?
Looking at him, he's still asleep.
Sorry, DM, do we know in terms of House Civis?
Mm-hmm.
Are they the ones that will send messages for you?
I believe so. Yes, that was correct.
How kind of widespread is that? I have a town nearby where we are. Sorry, this is such a horrible question.
I think Annex is the closest place. Annex University is the closest place we are. If we wanted to, I could teleport us there in the morning, but that would be the morning of the fight. So I don't have teleportation prepared today.
Yeah, the town of Ascelius is the closest town that's nearby. The likelihood of them having some sort of a communication post there, probably not. It's more likely that the closest like place that has active kind of sending stones basically set up between posts would be the town or the city of Discarin that's nearby, or Fairhaven. Basically, any of the kind of larger ones would have ways to communicate, basically.
Do we know how far away those are? Just in travel time.
I can look that up.
I feel like it's probably not viable, but it's worth at this stage exploring all possibilities that we have. I think.
I would perhaps suggest that if you're not certain that you can get there and back, then keeping more power, more manpower here would probably be wiser.
I think us leaving here, if Ivan knew that we had left this place, that is when he would strike.
Yes.
Because the place would be... I think we have rattled him enough that he is scared that we may defeat him. We nearly have once before.
Ascelius is about 50 miles away, and Discarin is about 100.
I agree with that. I'm just purely since we're in planning mode, just trying to explore all possibilities. It also does occur to me, Ink. Am I right? Your armor is not so effective at the moment.
No, that monstrous goo destroyed it. I have my wits and my speed and a shield spell. But I still have an AC of 15, so okay. Oh, it's could be worse.
Not terrible.
Up to 20 when I need it. Okay. So, we disconnect all of the panels. Try to make them unusable without setting off this whole place into meltdown. We communicate with two people, Alden, and didn't you? There was that big fight in Shan not too long before I met you, and there was a whole sort of the mayor of Shan changed, and I feel like you were in communication with them. I could send you to speak to them if you get a favor. We could go speak to Dragon Bebbit, whose name is very long and I have written down, but it's about 4 pages back in my notes.
Dragon Bebbert specifically told you that if you wanted to get in touch with him, it would have to be through the merchant Bebbert, basically.
And the thing is, Dragon Bebbit took us here and didn't really give a shit about what we were doing. So I feel like that would be a lost cause.
Would we... I wish I had my notes. There was a green-haired druid.
Yes, who can use tree stride and could maybe get here.
And who knows, something of the portals.
speaking to her. That would be a good shout.
Arave, who left with
Arave.
Moab, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, now.
Arave, and she wasn't part of the, like, was she one of the...
I think she was from a different druid sect than I
Yeah.
was. The Moab was.
But she could be...
I mean, she specifically wanted us to help close a portal, right? And my death distracted the whole situation. But,
Yeah. Yeah, she might be pissed. But bigger things. So, her and Alden, thank you. I could also speak to the scholars of old if we have any questions.
I'm sure that would be helpful.
Um,
Trying to think of this.
I don't know if this would work, but they do have a very crazy plan. Is Ivan an elf? He's not elf, is he? He's human.
He
Or
appears
he at least
human.
looks human. I wonder if I go into his dreams, I could try to convince him that we are meeting in a certain place, or that something that I could make him, maybe I could make him believe something that is not true. I could enter his mind and maybe modify his memory. Which may not work, but
That is intriguing.
Very.
I mean, the
peculiar
spell
method.
doesn't say I can't. But I was skimming it, so
Well, it says, while in the trance, the messenger is aware of his or her surroundings but can't take actions or move. So I believe whoever is sent into the target's dream can't really do things as such, per se.
or is it that they are aware they're in a trance, like, but they can move in the dream? I don't know. Stretching rules here. While in the trance, the messenger is aware of his or her surroundings, but can't take action or moves. But is that being aware of their, that the fact that action or moves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can't do that.
It's a great
But it
idea,
would be
though.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be
That
really
would be
fun.
really broken, but
Yeah, that would be
like,
insanely
be
broken.
really broken. Because dream's not concentration, so I could do it. Okay, I can't do that. Scrap that. I'm going to modify all your memory so you forget it. I could also, tomorrow morning, I could also send in. Oh no, I can send in. I can already send that in, so that doesn't change. Once again, I could teleport. I could teleport a short distance, Leonis. I could teleport a short distance into the manifest zone and see if there's anything in there of use. And come back out again. But doing that would stop me from sending dreams.
Well, I'm not too familiar with your allies, but I would think that is a better shot than teleporting into a gaping hole of necrotic death.
Yes, I know, but it would be really fun and very interesting to see if it was possible.
Oh yes, of course, it would be quite the story to tell. But well, there's at this late in the story, maybe
Maybe. It's such a shame. Maybe after.
taking risks.
I just feel like it'd be, I could definitely get a job at Arcanics if I could do that.
Oh,
But personal quests aside, Why? I want to see if there is a teleportation in here, a teleportation circle. I'm going to investigate this whole floor and the upstairs and the downstairs in this like safe area. See if I can find a hidden teleportation circle.
Sure. I mean, all of you have time before the next long rest is really allowed because you took that fairly recently, really. So yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want in the next kind of, let's say, 4-ish hours if you wish to achieve anything. You can try and do it.
I will hunt and scour for. Well, unless Zook wakes up, and then I'll just ask him.
Do you think
It can
this,
go under your kind of used hours to investigate, and then also ask Zook if.
Yeah.
Do you think the Zook would perhaps know about where my comrades might be buried or kept, as is the keeper of this place you said?
Maybe he didn't seem to really like to go down there very often, and usually he was invisible. I think he just ran around and checked all the consoles were working, and then came back up.
Oh.
But he would be if he
Perhaps
knows
he has-
anything about how to use those consoles. It would be a
Or
very
perhaps
good.
he has access to documents or archives or something. I mean, they must have kept records. I don't think they. I mean, we were, we were in a sense valuable. I don't think they would have just, thrown us in a big chamber and then just forgotten about us. I'm sure there were.
We found
contingency plans.
some records, but I think they were mostly corrupted. I think.
Yes, I don't think they mentioned.
I think yeah, they didn't say where the others were. We should go find them.
The only message that was specifically that your Adelbert was meant to be sent to a specific place.
Yeah.
So it could be that the others are somewhere in that area, but it's been 100 years.
So they might not even be here.
I suppose that's possible, yes, but I mean, they didn't when the Leonis when they first arrived, didn't they mention that they were looking for 5?
Well, we knew that there was the 5 was the number that had been thrown out. I don't know how much.
Well, there were
That's
it
true.
was me and 4 comrades, so there were 5 in our group. So
Well, it's been 100 years. They could have.
I mean, yes, of course.
They could be under rubble. They could be somewhere. I could certainly take a look.
Yes, well, whatever we do, we have to conserve time. I think it's not and not overcommit to any one thing if it doesn't work.
Well, do you and Leonis want to go and search, see if you can find any any of your comrades? There were a few rooms on the first floor, the first B1, which we didn't fully explore.
Perhaps we can ask Zook for any whatever he might know, and then yes, we could take a look.
Yes. So, teleportation circle. See if Zook knows about a teleportation and the consoles, and with the dragon gems, dragon crystals. I wonder if I could just dispel the magic from a dragon crystal. That's interesting. See if we can find any of your comrades and set up some sort of ambush for you. Do you hear me, Ivan? I would look for your scrying eye, but I've run out of charges. I need to rest. Then I get it back.
All right. Well, as you plan, and as we take the next couple of hours with these whatever actions you come up with, let's take a quick break, and come up after and over and
Or a
between
breath of fresh air.
after these messages from our sponsors.
Hey.
Holding the launch sequence codes, Inkblot will So there is one control panel on the first floor. I'm going to say first, second, and third floor, even though we mean below 1, below 2, below 3, because I would just confuse myself. There's one on the main control panel on floor 1. Then there's the red lightning dragon shard on floor 2. Then there's the corrosive automatica element on below 2 as well. So that's where all the disgusting green stuff is coming on. And like you said, Stan, there's really no point in disabling it. But I was wondering, we want to make it so they do have to go in there to activate it. So if we destroy it or tamper with it, they will have to go and be attacked by awful corrosive poison. So if we can withstand it, maybe it is a good thing to do. Then there is the fire, the large fire element on B3. And then I believe, yeah, all the energy must be gathered. The gathered energy must be dispelled in control room Z, which I believe is the gravity altering room where we were being severed by things. So we need to deal with that as well. But I think what we need to remember is we're not trying to activate all of these, we're just trying to disable them all. Because also, we don't want Ivan to come in here and activate them incorrectly and blow us all up.
Very true.
So that's what I have.
Yes.
So if we can get Zook to come with us, look at one of these panels, talk us through how it works, and maybe we could find a way to disarm it. Also, now that most of the facility is a little bit easier to reverse, maybe because everything seems to be dead, we could lay some sort of traps, or maybe if we're able to pull down some entrances so they all have to funnel in one direction. Like if we could destroy, if we could destroy Paul's cave so it is destroyed.
No. Back door.
Yes. Or at least, yeah, if we could just destroy parts of it. I also want to go and see if I can just completely disable one of these dragon shards. Because then they would have to go and get another dragon shard. Which, I mean, for Ivan, it might not be a difficult thing, but...
If it's an obstacle in their way, that's
Yes.
absolutely a plus.
And I'd rather do all of that today, so we can be at full strength tomorrow.
I like this idea that you proposed, and that you get in contact with some of your allies and see if they can maybe disable another portal. And then we could possibly just draw all of their attention and just aim. I think that's a good backup plan, perhaps. As long as we're busy with them, even if we fall, I can imagine that we'll at least give them a good licking so they'll have to recover.
Perhaps Arave would be the person to lead that with the portal in the Elden Reaches, which she already knows about, as some of the...
Yes.
At least one other ally we know who also knows about that portal. I don't know if Arave is still in touch with her, but...
It's probably a very good start.
the shot.
But of course, we need to wait until people are asleep to be able to do this.
A long time.
Also, what race was Arave?
think she was half elf or elf.
Or
If
elf.
she's full elf, I can't contact her.
Oh,
Oh no.
But if she's half elf, I can.
wow.
Mm.
Weird spell.
Yeah, because elves, basically, if the creature has a trance rather than a sleep, you can't go into their dreams.
Oh, okay.
Roll a d100 for me.
She's a dragonborn!
I mean, that would be a rarity in Eberron to be Dragonborn. But
31.
31, she is half elven.
Okay. I can send her a dream. Or one of us can. I don't think we got on very well, so I think you should go and speak to Arve.
Yeah. I would be very
Or
happy
Fennec,
to.
if Fennec would prefer to.
Yeah. Either way, that sounds great.
So I'm eating some of my rations.
I find normal food oddly boring for some reason.
To be honest, rations are absolutely vile.
Hmm.
If I had the spell slots to spare, I could make us a full, 12-course meal if we wanted it. I
Oh,
can't
yes.
teleport though. I'm sorry,
I
Leonard.
I can also make food. Yes, if needed.
The gnome had some cheese in his cold box, so I don't know if anybody wants any.
Speaking of Zook, I'm going to walk up to him and I'm going to prod him awake.
Sure. He kind of.
Zook?
Ah!
Zook?
Ah!
Hi.
Ah! Oh, that's such a weird dream.
You were almost poisoned.
Ah, you're
by-
real. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
hello.
I guess
You're
it wasn't
almost
a dream.
poisoned by your friend Sebastian. Good thing that Stan was here.
Poisoned.
Yes.
The tea. Hmm.
No, I mean, you can't really overdose with that stuff. I mean,
Oh,
it's.
what would you like to try again?
No, but I mean, there must be some sort of an. It was miscommunication, clearly.
You were poisoned through miscommunication?
No, I mean, it must have been an accident of some kind. I'm sure they did.
They were assassins. You witnessed them trying to murder us.
Well, you know, accidents happen to both sides and kind of just constantly. It can be just this long trail of accidents in your life.
Zook,
Yeah.
look at me.
Yes.
Look at me. Yes, hello. Whose side are you on?
The university. Kind of.
Do you want us dead?
No.
Would you poison our tea?
No.
Do you have a teleportation circle here?
No. I mean, no. That's what. No, they would send. That's why they send people to get the day. It's a whole
No, I
thing.
thought that's what I was just making sure. Like not one hidden under a rug. Like, is there sort of a bit of furniture you've never moved before?
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm not trying. I'm asking you if you have a teleportation circle and if you can
No, I
move
don't
around.
have a teleportation circle. If I had, I would have done many things differently. I mean,
You can
well,
teleport.
the waste disposal already is a whole hassle. Like, many things would be eased.
I mean, that's a very powerful spell for waste disposal.
I don't care. I mean, you haven't lived here.
Would you like to spend the 10 gold pieces worth of chalk each time to teleport your poop somewhere?
Is it my money? It's being
I
spent?
don't know. Is it your money? Who pays for the teleportation circle?
You said that there's a teleportation circle. I don't
No,
know.
I'm asking you if there is that teleportation circle.
I don't have the money on me, if that's what you're asking.
I don't need any. Well, actually, no, I do need money, but this is not the time to beg a gnome for money.
I look at Leonis and in Carnafi say wizards.
Jawohl, Leonis answers.
Yeah, boy.
Zook walks to the stove and starts making
No, I'm
another
not done
cup.
with you. Come back here.
What?
Don't drink the tea.
I'm making a new cup. I'll rinse it out.
Well, scrub it out.
maybe.
Fine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get so heated. We're very stressed right now.
I understand. I mean,
A war is about to descend on your observatory.
well, hopefully not.
Well, that's what it is. It's happening.
But let's hope that it doesn't.
God, no. We're going to prepare.
Okay.
Not to be a downer.
Yeah, it's your thing, you know.
So, the control panels that are scattered throughout the observatory. You've seen them, I assume.
I saw one. I don't know if there's others. I saw the main.
Do you know anything about them? How to use them? The dragon shards and the other crystals that are attached to them?
No.
No, I thought that might be the answer. Okay. What's forbidden knowledge do you know about what this observatory sits on? What things shouldn't you tell us right now?
This seems like a leading question, but
It is a very leading question.
I respect you. So
I'm surprised.
well, nothing really comes to mind. Actually, I mean, I haven't focused in on it, and I only looked at it because I was too scared of pushing the wrong buttons. I'm pretty sure you can control the doors. So,
Fennec?
Fennec probably is unconscious. He has 20 hit points,
Oh,
so he's resting.
okay. Well, doors won't be necessary. We've handled the doors. Fine. So what do you do when you check? What did you check on?
Well, I go and kind of read the readouts, and they've pretty much remained the same in terms of the energy dispersal, and I make sure that the telescope itself is powered, and that's my main focus. So the energy from the heat, the geothermal heat, that is properly used. That's my focus, really.
Sorry. The geological activity, the thermal activity, is powering the telescope.
Well, certain parts of it, yes. I mean, I couldn't look at that thing. I couldn't move it with just my bare hands. I mean, it's very like I've been working out, but like, thank you, but I can't do that.
Right. So, this telescope is only powered by thermal activity. Nothing else, no like creepy manifest zone energy.
Well, I haven't looked for that. That's a dirty mind to go looking for something like that. You know,
For a manifest zone.
no, I mean to use the telescope for something other than science. I haven't thought about it.
No, I'm not asking to use it for something else. I'm asking if it's been powered by anything else.
Well, I think it can take it. I don't know. I don't know.
I can turn to Stan and Ulbrich. So, does Zook know there's a manifest zone underneath his observatory?
Hard to get a read on cultural differences. 100 years.
I would. Could I roll an insight check?
Make an insight check.
And also, I can't remember if we've had this conversation with him, and if he knows.
I mean, so far, the last you talked to him, if I remember correctly, he seemed to not, actively try and not talk about it and also not think about it. He wants to, he doesn't, he didn't actively, mention a manifest zone. With that 22, he doesn't seem to be lying. It just seems like what he is saying, which is that he has only focused on just keeping the telescope running, and he hasn't done any other investigations, really.
I'm willing to bet pretty strongly that he doesn't know and doesn't want to know.
Tea, anyone?
Oh, yeah, actually.
No.
I'll have some.
Get out.
Are you going to be using your supply or Sebastian's supply?
Well, it's my supply, obviously.
Okay, did he touch the bag?
I think there was like a couple of minutes when I wasn't looking.
Naughty for me.
Okay. Well, it's getting late, I guess. And you best be on your way. It's nice meeting all of you, and
One moment, my gnomish friend. I'd love some Drofus. Would you happen to have known of?
Yes, you've not met Albrecht. This is someone who we brought from beneath your observatory.
I was sent here 100 years ago to become a super powerful warrior for Karnaf. Things went awry, and have you heard of anyone like that here, or seen any coffins?
decidedly no.
Would you happen to have access to any sort of documents, archives, offices? Would you know where to look? If someone were to have kept secrets or soldiers here and kept records, where would one look?
Best I can do for you is a wash basin, and I don't know if you're aware, but you have some blood in your beard.
I am aware. That's not what I asked. Focus up. Come on.
I have some reading material, but it's mostly magazines and things. I mean, there's my data that I've collated over the years. I haven't taken anything from downstairs. I don't.
I see.
Have we gone through the bodies of the assassins?
Nope, they're still just laying there.
Yeah, let me see if we can find any paper or any notes or anything.
I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
Would you like to roll as well, or would you like me to roll twice?
You do have advantage.
Okay. That's a 22.
22 altogether. Morit seems to have the most of this this currency, but altogether you find 2 platinum on all of them together, and Morit has most of it. Basically 1 platinum on one of them, and a bunch of gold on the other people.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or Galliford's. You also find a set of rings on Morit that he wasn't wearing, but that are currently just on a kind of in a small pouch, and they look kind of this bluish, purplish, polished steel rings, these twin rings. In terms of notes, nothing.
Any other like sigils or like creepy masks?
Masks wise, yes, you would have find all of them have them tucked away somewhere.
Okay.
By the way, does anyone need healing? If we're gonna go to sleep soon, I can.
Fennec would need healing.
I'm okay. I actually haven't taken any damage.
I'm just thinking, because if we're gonna go to sleep, I might as well use up the spell, and so we don't have to use all of our hit dice just in case.
Well, I think before we go to sleep, we should descend one last time and just have a look at these consoles. I would like to see if we can disable them.
And I assume the dream spells you'll be wanting to do in.
I only need to do that once it hits nightfall.
Right. Perhaps we can leave the spell casting until
the last moment.
yes.
Also, if you have any burning questions that are yes or no, that do not involve future events that we do not know the outcome to, let me know, and I can ask the scholars, including you, Albrecht, if there's any burning questions you want to know.
Ask who? One of your allies, you mean, or?
Yes, one of a very, very close ally to me.
Okay, and they know they.
Pretty much everything. Everything that is knowable.
Ah,
Are you telling me you have a direct tap into the scholars of Arcanics?
No, scholars of old. Before Arcanics.
this sounds like a communion spell of sorts that some clerics have access to, I believe.
Less spiritual, more academical.
Well, yes. Oh, I see. So there's.
The scholars who wrote all the books that were in every library before we were around.
Huh.
Yes,
Fascinating. Huh.
very.
Would they know? Well, the only question that's in my head right now is, well, where are my comrades? Would they know?
I could
Or-
ask if your comrades are here.
Ah, I mean, I suppose that would be useful to know, because if they're not, then I think we can
We do
scrap
not.
that idea for now, and then I can,
Albrecht's comrades. Here? Question mark? Okay. Zook, is there anything you want to know?
Let me think. Zook is in the process of putting very nice, kind of oriental shawls over the bodies to kind of cover them. Well, what
very
time do you think you're gonna start going?
Well, I think in probably ETA for destruction of the observatory would be in probably about 24 hours.
Asked and answered, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I should install
Nothing
a lock.
else like, did that old flame really have a thing for you? Did your mother lie to you about something?
I think I'm okay with where I'm at in my
Okay.
stage in my life. So I'm good actually.
Okay.
I don't want to be frivolous with your questions.
Well, I only have one, so frivol away.
If there's a spare one, perhaps you could just ask if Ash is still alive.
Of course.
Would just be nice to know.
Of course.
I appreciate it. In terms of more urgent things, I'm struggling a little to think in terms of Ivan and his movements, or how we can best protect this place.
Perhaps you said that he scries. Perhaps asking something like, "This is he aware of our plans? Current plans, something like that." Would that?
Our current plans.
Well,
Well, destroy the
plan.
panels, or I suppose. Is there another way to condense the Manifeston's power? I assume there must be, because the other Manifestons, the other portals, have been harnessed. But I could ask, apologies. I need to put my Oriental robe on. I'm very tired. In the meantime, I could identify these rings, see if they're helpful. I mean, there's two of them here. I wonder if there's some form of communication.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Hold on. Can I
Has Zook made the tea yet?
Yeah, Zook would have given this out to anybody and everybody who wanted some.
I'll drink the tea. What's it like for me specifically?
You haven't like actively taken a pile of ash from a fireplace and eaten it and swallowed it and tasted it, but that's what this tastes like to you.
You alright?
This is
I didn't put any
disgusting.
sugar.
What? Oh, I think I understand what. I think it's. I look at Inkblot and I think it's.
I make a note.
No, this is lovely. Thank you very much for your graciousness, my gnomish friend, and I will finish the tea. As a brave soldier that I am.
I'll like sidle up next to you, go. This may be a little bit morbid, but we may have already crossed that barrier. But some people put milk in their teas. Perhaps you could.
Oh. Oh. Yes. Perhaps I could put some milk. Yeah. I will. Yes, that is quite. Yes.
Just an idea.
Well, feel free to observe.
No, I'm going to identify these rings.
Right. It seemed that you were curious. You have a curious mind, and just feel free to.
I do not need to witness you extract, but I will observe the outcome.
I'm just thinking, like, if this interests you, then you can feel free to observe or ask questions, or perhaps I can learn something as well. It's not like I.
It's very
know
kind
much
of you.
Yes, of course.
I am battling with my judgment at the moment. For I feel like other things may be more important than the study
of course.
at this moment. But it is something I would like to discuss maybe after, if we should survive the next 24, 30 hours.
We can have a study session of sorts.
Of course, yes.
Yes. Right. I will go and put some blood in my tea.
I'm going to go identify.
Are you doing this in a stealthy way, kind of trying to?
Yeah, I'll go out of Zook's. There's a big pillar in the room, right? So I will just go to one of the bodies and make sure Zook's not looking, and just sort of
Make a sleight of hand check.
with my hand.
To assist, if I can, I'll take Zook and I'll say, have you ever witnessed a literal casting of Identify?
Well, yeah, obviously in the universe.
Really? Are you a wizard?
I mean, no, but I mean, a little bit. I dabble.
Oh.
Make it with
Well,
advantage.
those invisibility potions were very handy.
Well, thank you. I actually kind of it's just something you pick up. The plant life is quite interesting here.
Fascinating.
So yeah, he doesn't notice. You do.
I just take the tip of my axe and just sort of nick a vein or something, and just a little bit, and then just put a lot, and then drink the whole thing.
Yeah, it tastes a little bit stale. Like it's fairly fresh, but like living would be the best. But it's definitely better.
I for a moment I look at my reflection in the cup, and I assume I have a reflection. It's not quite like Buffy vampire.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I think you have reflections.
I think so. I think
yeah.
the D&D, yeah. And then just like ponder for a second and then move on.
You do spot that Leonis has been keeping an eye on you and has witnessed you do this.
Well,
Holding a stake.
He knew anyway, so more or less.
All right. With that, you identify Inkblot the rings. Yep. They are 2 rings of transposition. And as you look into one of them, and you kind of hold them out, and as you look into one of them, you see actually that the reflection on one of the rings is basically what you could see through the other ring. So it's almost like a lens that you're looking through. But yeah, they're in your inventory, and you can go through them as you wish.
While that's going on, apologies in advance. I'd like to go off to the corner and I'd like to dig to the very bottom of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to pull out that sending stone.
Okay.
And just, probably very dusty, has not been thought about it in a very long time. And just try saying, hello? Hello? Is there anyone there?
There's a long pause until you hear a voice that isn't Vishtai. Seems to be a younger male voice, but you still hear somebody pick up. They go, "Yes? Who's this?"
Hello? My name is Stan. What's your name?
I'm Delian.
Lovely to meet you, Darian.
Delian.
Sorry?
It's with an L. Delian.
Delian. Apologies, Delian. I've not kept the greatest care of this sending stone, so that's entirely on me. I have to admit, you're not exactly the person I was expecting to talk to. As lovely as it is to chat, how did you come across this sending stone, may I ask?
It was a part of my brother's estate.
Oh, Vishtai?
Indeed.
I see, part of his estate.
Were you a friend of his?
I think so.
Well, then you haven't heard. He fell asleep and he didn't wake up.
Oh.
This isn't so strange for my kind. Sometimes the spirits that are combined with us can take us to other planes of existence, but unfortunately he decided not to return to his body.
Well, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm very sorry, and that is deeply sad for us and for you. I'm afraid I was calling as we happen to be in rather serious straits. And in fact, if you'll believe me, as absurd as what I'm about to say is, the whole of Corvair is in a very precarious position right now. This is the only sending stone I have to contact the outside world, and if there is anything you might be able to do, as absurd as this sounds, to aid us in contacting some of our other allies, we would be so enormously grateful, and quite possibly the entire continent would be grateful too.
Well, I wasn't expecting this type of call this time in the morning.
No, and I'm sorry that weight has landed on your shoulders. Might Vishtai worked very closely with a friend of ours called Alden Darian. I wonder if you know him.
I've met him once or twice. I think he lives here in Sharn.
Oh, you're in Shan. I'm so sorry to ask you to do this at such a difficult time. I promise I wouldn't if it weren't enormously important. Do you think you would be able to transport this sending stone to him?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
I haven't been in contact with him. I'm not sure where he is, but
I can give you his address. And if you say that Gooseneck and Sons would urgently like to speak to him, I believe he and his household would act on that.
I think I can do this for you. But allow me to meditate on it.
May I ask how long that would take?
Well, usually the spirits give me a reply in a day or so.
I'm afraid we're working on a very short time frame. We're expecting some enemies, I suppose, to the future of the continent to be appearing with us within about a day as well. If you could pass on the stone, or even pass it on to a courier of some sorts to get it to him. Again, I'm so sorry to ask you to put yourself out like this, but I can't impress upon you how important this is, and you would have our eternal gratitude.
Well, I suppose if you were a friend of my brother's, there is no harm in this. I can try and reach him in a few hours.
Okay.
That would be so wonderful. So much. I appreciate it more than I can possibly say. Thank you. I'll keep this stone near me, which you can get through. And I hope at some point we'll have the chance to thank you in person when this is all over.
Same to you. And with that, the connection is cut.
Just take a second and think about Vishtai a little bit. And in the factors.
Would have
And
had
then just-
side quest failed appear somewhere.
Yeah.
I think there's like the emotional thing of like, this is a huge emotion, and like I'm just shoving that into a box. And it's like, I
Deal
have
with
to not deal with this, and yeah,
that
I'll
one
go
later.
back. Yeah.
I'll walk over to Stan, and I'll hold one of the blue and purpley rings. I'll say, Stan?
Mm.
Oh, are you okay?
I've just heard that a friend of ours has died.
Oh, I'm sorry. How? Sorry, I know that sounds incredibly cruel, but how did you get this information?
Oh, well, and I'll hold up the sending stone. I had forgotten about it for an extremely long time. It's probably quite a long story, but this had been left in his possessions, so I was able to speak to his brother.
I see.
And I think his brother's in Shan, And this friend was worked very closely with Alden de Ryan, and I believe his brother is going to try and get the other sending stone to Alden
Fantastic.
in the next few hours. So hopefully then we'll have a channel to Alden and Shan.
And that would mean, if that is the case, that would leave one dream left open.
Yes.
Then perhaps we could also risk talking to Babbitt. Or anyone else.
Babbitt seems like a very a useful person. We perhaps have a little time to think of someone else as well.
Well, in the meantime, if you're able to, would you be able to concentrate on this ring? Are you able to attune to it? Do you have attunement slots?
Yes. I can't remember where that's listed.
You just have to click on your equipped inventory, I think. At least that's how I checked.
Inventory tab and then bottom left. Should show.
Great.
Oh yeah, 2 out of 3. Very good.
I don't know if mine's right though.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
it
it
could
is.
be. Could be mistaken. Let me see.
Because I think I have to attune to the Sunblade. Actually.
It'll say on the item description if you do.
Oh yeah, it's wrong. Let me just fix this quickly.
I think I might be 3 for 3.
Ah, okay, bugger.
I mean, I don't know if. So I could unattune to my gauntlets.
What do they do?
They allow me to give people to make my
Oh yes. Well, maybe
hands go further.
essentially, if 2 people wear these rings and have attuned to them, they are able to swap positions.
Oh.
And I just thought, I am a little bit more fragile than some of the other members of our group. And also, if I needed, some help, and you were, say, too far away, I can attack from range and you cannot, or I could get close to something and then we could swap places. Also, Inkblot has the image of Stan being dragged into the portal and her unable to get to her. And if she could have teleported over, she could have stopped it.
So does it makes people swap places?
Yes. So say if I was under attack by a big old beast, I could tap on this stone and it would let you know to tap on your stone, and then we'd swap places.
I see.
And also, of course, vice versa. If you were ever in trouble, I could assume your position.
Well, that's sounds like an incredibly useful thing. Yes.
But if what you have is powerful enough, I perhaps could offer to Fennec or Albrecht.
Yes, depending on what everyone has available, I suppose.
Maybe this will be a conversation once Fennec is awake.
Perhaps, yes. But that's incredibly helpful, and I think you having one of them, and perhaps either myself or Adalbrecht having the other, might be the most helpful strategically.
It could be awfully helpful dealing with Ivan. I'm not quite sure how we would do it. Or maybe even... Maybe even someone like Zook.
Right?
Hello. Oh, where the hell did you come from?
I've been standing behind you for like.
Oh, that is not creepy at all, Zook.
That's good to hear, because I had second doubts as I was doing it. I was like, "Is this creepy?" But
no, surprisingly, you should do it more often.
okay.
Maybe we'll have this conversation later.
That's
'Cause
fine by
we
me.
no, well, we need to go downstairs and have a look at these panels.
I've been thinking about it. I don't think I actually need to come with you at all.
I don't think you need to go down there. No. Yes.
That's great. We're in agreement.
Good. Well, if anyone comes up here, sound an alarm or shout or scream if someone who comes up who's not one of us. That would be good to let us know.
Yeah. Or how about I go to my room and barricade? Oh no, there's the damn hatch as well.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll be here.
Well, yes. We appreciate everything you're doing. Your tea is wonderful.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'll put the bodies next to Paul's cave. That should maybe
Sure, he would like that. He could do with the strength.
As he's walking away, he goes like, although that would introduce him to the flesh of man, which should have risky consequences. Anyway. All right, so who's heading downstairs? Everybody?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
If we go round, if we just go from panel to panel,
Mhm.
in my head to like investigate each one and see what we can do to them to deactivate or mess with them or yeah.
All right. Stan, I think you basically have 4 items that require attunement currently. The ring, the gauntlets, the armor, and the sun blade. So there's some decisions to be made on that on that front. But yeah, as you walk, as you take your kind of first steps into the darkness again, and then shortly after that, the torches all kind of light up as you take the stairs down and walk down the kind of clear ground that was covered in bones beforehand that are now clear as these bone kind of revenants or spirits had retreated into the walls that you didn't defeat, but had retreated because Turn Undead was cast and they left. With that, yeah, you walk to the first panel and make whoever is looking either investigation or arcana.
Can
Do
anyone?
you require some assistance? I'm not...
I would love some assistance.
I'll do my best.
So, well, you know you've at least been here before, so perhaps even being close to this thing will bring some memories. Oh, language. Arcana or investigation, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
27, did that roll? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with the 27, I had a long list of things written out
Oh no.
that you could do, but basically, that's enough to kind of get a sense that there's a couple of you could definitely control different elements of the complex as a whole. Like you could, for example, overheat certain parts of the complex, like certain areas that you could force to suddenly get rid of all the heat in the laboratory, which would force it through the area in B2 where the kind of the heat sink is. There's certain aspects of that. With a 27, I'd say as well, you're pretty sure you could control the doors.
Okay.
You could close and open them as you wished.
Would they be all of them or selected ones?
I would say it would be a check every time.
Okay.
But you could do all of them and individually as much as you'd like.
Okay.
Also, with the 27, yeah, looking at the launch order, you see the kind of the exact same kind of sequence of events that you have in the document already.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, again with a 27, there's a way here to tie this process to one's blood. There seems to be some sort of an addition that has been put into the technology of this place, where the dragon shards will take the identity of one's blood, one's life force, basically, and tie the console and the power to use them with that person.
So only that person could use it?
Yes.
I mean, it would definitely make it more difficult for anybody else to use it.
Could
It's
we-
not completely locked out.
Could we bind it to one of the corpses and then destroy that corpse so there is absolutely no trace of blood left?
Well,
If we wanted to stop Ivan from using it?
theoretically, perhaps, but is there a time limit? What if there is a fail-safe? I wonder someone who has made such a complex device also took into account that should they die and their blood be tied to it, this place would be left useless. So I wonder if
Perhaps keep 1 or 2 vials of the person's blood as a
I was going to say that maybe there's a fail-safe that should that person die, their link is also destroyed. But I could be wrong.
I'm just thinking if perhaps we do all the things we want to do to make it as difficult to get in as possible, and then close off the console in this, bind it to someone and then destroy the body.
Also, as a last-ditch attempt should everything go wrong, if I understand correctly, we could overload this entire place and maybe blow it up. So, as a large last-ditch effort, being able to do that.
So, yes, to continue.
Yes, tampering with the launch order will result in a catastrophe in a catastrophic something in a cat.
Basically, looking at it with the 27, again, the blood would need to be basically fed into the system after certain time frames to keep that lock on, and it would in fact kind of basically run out at some point and revert to nobody being able to use it, which is the state of it that it is now. It's still
we know how
possible to kind of hack it and try and do it. It's just difficult. It's way easier to the person whose blood is tied to the console. Also, yeah, you could absolutely destroy all the panels, but probably at some point, possibly immediately, possibly in a day or a couple of hours, there would be checks and balances that wouldn't happen, and the mountain itself would become a manifest zone. So the manifest zone would expand outwardly and kind of cover a lot of area. Who knows if it's only the mountains or outside it.
So at the moment, this whole console is on like an automated check system, which is like going, cool, turn this knob because this is overpressurized and close it off again to stop this whole thing from... Okay. So, destroying or tampering with the consoles could actually destroy everything. So,
but I think before you said that the zone right now is being compressed. So
no, it's out everywhere, isn't it?
So it's out in a certain area. So it's controlled.
Contained,
Yeah.
And then turning all this stuff on will condense it into a small bit, and then Ivan can use that to drill into the
Kyber.
Yeah.
The abyss.
But if we were to destroy, if we were to destroy everything and it expanded, would it then theoretically be much more difficult to use it?
Cool.
Oh, where's the? Yeah, I think you have to switch it in
still have
Jitsi.
to-
So, with a 27, if it would, number one, you wouldn't know what would happen if you basically destroyed everything. You don't know what the energy in the manifest zone would be. You know that it can be very dangerous, as Fennec teleported inside and got hurt by it.
Hello.
I think it's still. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm back now. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. So yeah, if you destroyed the panels, the manifest zone would be basically free to be as large as it is. And traversing that zone would be dangerous. You're not sure what's inside, if it would be easier, harder for Ivan to do things or not. You're not even really sure what the manifest zone would be. Like, yeah.
Well, perhaps as a very, very last ditch Hail Mary, we're falling, we're doomed.
Destroy the whole thing.
Maybe just keep that option in our back pocket, just in case.
I would like to bind myself to this equipment.
I think that makes sense. You seem the cleverest of this bunch.
Wow. Yeah, this doesn't feel clever, but I think it makes sense. And should we fail, should I be able to see the console, I could bring this place down. And if you could clear the area, only one of us would fall. I may be able to protect myself, but I'm not entirely sure.
So we do a tactical retreat. We smash up every console as we go down. As we retreat from the Ivan people things.
Yes, but that could take a long time, so perhaps it would be better. I believe in the console. I could do with enough tempering, I could probably make it near immediate. But that is certainly one option, is to just destroy everything as we go. But
that seems like a desperate final attempt, not plan A, B, or C.
No, that is very far down the list.
Yeah.
We should also be able to control the doors from here. I'm wondering if we close doors to funnel our enemies where we need them to go. Also, I believe I could possibly close the doors to Paul's cave. Now, Ivan can teleport, but I don't know if he could teleport everyone. So at least I could close some of them.
And close all of them.
But then how would we get through this facility, especially if Ivan is teleports to the center of this place and we can't get to him?
I don't know. I hate wizards.
I know. I hate that too.
Jawohl.
What does that mean?
Jawohl.
Okay.
It's just a thing you say, you know.
It's just yeah.
Okay.
It's just like indeed or
Right.
something. Yeah.
It's like aloha, you know, like hello, goodbye. It's like a bunch of things.
Yeah. Your accent is strange, though. I have to say, things have changed in 100 years.
No, I could say the same to you, really.
I suppose.
So I'm going to bind my blood to this console. Well, actually, I imagine I need to go back to room Z to do this.
Is that process dangerous, or do you need a healer on standby or anything? Or
Probably good to have a healer nearby.
let's all, just in case.
Yes.
Yeah.
While I'm here, shall I try and close at least some of the doorways?
Make an intelligence check for me with your modifier. It's a +5 to your.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a natural 20.
So
Or
which
25.
which of the doors do you wish to close?
I would
They're
like to
currently
close
all open.
I think I just closed it. The storeroom door.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you close it. I don't know if it's in a section, if like all three of those could be closed, but yeah, I want to close the storeroom door on B3. B3.
Sure, that's done. You kind of hear the mechanisms whir into action as you do that. You're currently bypassing, like you haven't tied your blood to any of this. This would be actually a very difficult task, but you are managing to do this with the 25.
As I do that first time, I go, we should do my blood now. Come on, gang. Let's go be necromancers.
This was a very strange sequence of sentences.
So yeah, you start the process from the main panel to kind of introduce a new user, basically, and then you walk back up to Zook's, and then through the hatch down to the office. And yeah, with your, I'm not going to roleplay everything because I'm not quite sure how it works out, really.
That's
I don't know
okay. In Inkblot's way, she'll like sketch the gem. And then when she sketched the gem, she'll like tear the bit of paper out of the book. And then like almost like, yeah, that's what she'll do. She'll put the paper on the ground and she'll like cut herself and drop the blood from her hand will drip onto the paper. And the paper will just be absorbed in blood. And it'll be like, it looks like a few drops, but the whole paper is just soaked. And then she'll take the paper and she'll place it against the gem, and the paper will just be absorbed into the gem. That's in
great.
my mind.
It is completely incomprehensible for anybody else. You are with your arcanic knowledge, you can figure this out. Everybody else is just looking at like, what is this stuff?
There is a slightly uncomfortable twinkle in Adelbrecht's eye as you mess with the blood.
But yeah, it works out. You feel pretty certain that for you, anything to do with controlling this place has been significantly made easy.
And do I know how long this lasts?
I'm gonna say with the 27 you rolled, it would last a week, so 7 days starting from now.
Oh.
Okay. I'll let these guys. I won't tell these guys that. I won't say how long I'm bound to it out loud.
All right.
So it's worked?
It's as long as I am bound to this machine now. I have ultimate control over it. Should anyone else try to interfere with it, it could overload this entire place and maybe blow it up. So, as a last-ditch effort, being able to do that.
So yes, to continue.
Yes, tampering with the launch order will result in a catastrophe in a catastrophic something in a gap.
Basically, yeah. Looking at it with the 27 again. The blood would need to be basically fed into the system after certain time frames to keep that lock on, and it would in fact kind of basically run out at some point and revert to nobody being able to use it, which is the state of it that it is now. It's still possible to kind of hack it and try and do it. It's just difficult. It's way easier to the person whose blood is tied to the console. Also, yeah, you could absolutely destroy all the panels, but probably at some point, possibly immediately, possibly in a day or a couple of hours, there would be checks and balances that wouldn't happen, and the mountain itself would become a manifest zone. So the manifest zone would expand outwardly and kind of cover a lot of area. Who knows if it's only the mountains or outside it.
So at the moment, this whole console is on like an automated check system, which is like going, cool, turn this knob because this is overpressurized and close it off again to stop this whole thing from... Okay. So Destroying or tampering with the consoles could actually destroy everything. So,
but if I think before you said that the zone right now is being compressed. So
no,
if
it's out everywhere, isn't it?
So
but
it's out in a certain area. So it's
Yeah.
it's controlled.
Contained,
Yeah.
yeah. And then turning all this stuff on will condense it into a small bit, and then Ivan can use that to drill into the
Kyber.
Yeah.
The abyss.
But if
No.
we were to
My
destroy,
microphone fell out.
oh yeah,
It's alright.
if we were to destroy everything and it expanded, would it then theoretically be much more difficult to use
Hello.
it?
Cool.
Oh, where's the? You have to, I think you have to switch
You
it in
still have
Jitsi.
to-
So, with a 27, if it would, number one, you wouldn't know what would happen if you basically destroyed everything. You don't know what the energy in the manifest zone would be. You know that it can be very dangerous, as Fennec teleported inside and got hurt by it.
Hello.
I think it's still. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm back now. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. So yeah, if you destroyed the panels, the manifest zone would be basically free to be as large as it is. And traversing that zone would be dangerous. You're not sure what's inside, if it would be easier, harder for Ivan to do things or not. You're not even really sure what the manifest zone would be. Like, yeah.
Well, perhaps as a very, very last ditch Hail Mary, we're falling, we're doomed.
Destroy the whole
Maybe
thing.
maybe just keep that option in our back pocket, just in case.
I would like to bind myself to this equipment.
I think that makes sense. You seem the cleverest of this bunch.
Wow. Yeah, this doesn't feel clever, but I think it makes sense. And should we fail, should I be able to see the console, I could bring this place down. And if you could clear the area, only one of us would fall. I may be able to protect myself, but I'm not entirely sure.
So we do a tactical retreat. We smash up every console as we go down. As we retreat from the Ivan people things.
Yes, but that could take a long time, so perhaps it would be better. I believe in the console. I could do with enough tampering, I could probably make it near immediate. But that is certainly one option, is to just destroy everything as we go. But
that seems like a desperate final attempt, not plan A, B, or C.
No, that is very far down the list.
Yeah.
We should also be able to control the doors from here. I'm wondering if we close doors to funnel our enemies where we need them to go. Also, I believe I could possibly close the doors to Paul's cave. Now, Ivan can teleport, but I don't know if he could teleport everyone. So at least I could close some of them.
Close all of them.
But then how would we get through this facility, especially if Ivan is teleported to the center of this place and we can't get to him?
I don't know. I hate wizards.
I know. I hate that too.
Jawohl.
What does that mean?
Jawohl.
Okay.
It's just a thing you say, you know. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like indeed or
Right.
something. Yeah.
It's like aloha, you know, like hello, goodbye. It's like a bunch of things.
Yeah. Your accent is strange, though. I have to say, things have changed in 100 years.
No, I could say the same to you, really.
I suppose.
So I'm going to bind my blood to this console. Well, I imagine I need to go back to room Z to do this.
Is that process dangerous, or do you need a healer on standby or anything? Or
Probably good to have a healer nearby.
let's all, just in case.
Yes.
Yeah.
While I'm here, shall I try and close at least some of the doorways?
Make an intelligence check for me with your modifier. It's a +5 to your.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a natural 20.
So
Or
which
25.
which of the doors do you wish to close?
I would
They're
like to
currently
close
all open.
I think I just closed it. The storeroom door.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you close it. I don't know if it's in a section, if like all three of those could be closed, but yeah, I want to close the storeroom door on B3. B3.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's done. You kind of hear the mechanisms were into action as you do that. You're currently bypassing, like you haven't tied your blood to any of this. This would be actually a very difficult task, but you are managing to do this with the 25.
As I do that first time, I go, we should do my blood now. Come on, gang. Let's
Okay.
go be necromancers.
this was a very strange sequence of sentences.
So yeah, you start the process from the main panel to kind of introduce a new user, basically, and then you walk back up to Zook's, and then through the hatch down to the office. And yeah, with your, I'm not going to roleplay everything because I'm not quite sure how it works out,
Cool,
really. I
that's
don't know
okay. In Inkblot's way, she'll like sketch the gem, and then when she sketched the gem, she'll like tear the bit of paper out of the book, and then like almost like that's what she'll do. She'll put the paper on the ground, and she'll like cut herself, and drop the blood from her hand will drip onto the paper, and the paper will just be absorbed in blood, and it'll be like, it looks like a few drops, but the whole paper is just soaked. And then she'll take the paper and she'll place it against the gem, and the paper will just be absorbed into the gem. That's
That's
in
great.
my mind.
It is completely incomprehensible for anybody else. You are the, like, with your arcanic knowledge, you can figure this out. Everybody else is just looking at, like, what is this stuff?
There is a slightly uncomfortable twinkle in Adelbrecht's eye as you mess with the blood.
But yeah, it works out. You feel pretty certain that for you, anything to do with controlling this place has been significantly made easy.
And do I know how long this lasts?
I'm gonna say with the 27 you rolled, it would last a week, so 7 days starting from now.
Oh,
Okay. I'll let these guys. I won't tell these guys that. I won't say how long I'm bound to it out loud.
All right.
So it's worked?
It's as long as I am bound to this machine now. I have ultimate control over it. Should anyone else try to interfere with it, it won't work for them.
Great.
that's great. Now we just have to. Could someone potentially use your blood to use the machine? If they got their hands on you and.
They would have to force me to use it.
Okay.
I believe it's less of my blood I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, Matthias. It's less of my blood, but it's more of my being now is tied to this.
I see.
So just a vial of my blood would be useless.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to say out loud, and should I die, that would still leave this place unusable until it is transferred over to a new user, which I would have to enable. We are lucky, from what I can tell, that the previous user expelled their own blood from the system. That is why I was able to do that this time.
Okay.
Okay.
That actually,
It's worked out very well for us.
yes,
so-
that gives us a lot of options. Yes. We don't have to worry too much.
I'm gonna go close some more doors.
Huh.
I would like on B3, and guys as well, tell me if there's any doors you think we should close, or tell me if you think this is right. I would like to close. So in B3, you got the huge dragon crystal. I'd like to close the door on the left, and the door at the end of that corridor that goes to the lift. Basically, I want to close the lift off. So the only way to get to the lift is through that secret door, which Ivan may know about now through scrying if he has, but I'm hoping that we are the only ones who know about this, and Zook. And I might make him forget.
All right, and I presume the Yeti's entrance as well.
I only thought about the storage room. Do we want Mr. Yeti, I want to close that door because I want to I don't want a back entrance into this place. So closing, and I just did that through the storage entrance. But if there are more of those spiders in there, and they want to go through that way and get messed up by some creepy spiders if there are any left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Although, I don't know how hard it is to, manually break through those doors.
Yeah.
So more
I
the
imagine
better.
extremely hard.
Okay, I will
But if-
close. Yeah.
Yeah, because then
Oh.
if they expend
if they-
energy trying to get through the door and then get
Yeah.
attacked once, that's
Yeah.
the dream scenario, right?
Yeah, that's
I
right. Cool.
imagine if they teleport into the Yeti room, they're not going to immediately teleport again. They would much rather probably just
And if they do, they'll be using more resources.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll close another door.
either way. It's
All right, you hear another door kind of slide shut.
Any other doors that you guys can think of? So if they come in the main entrance, they'll be funneled down. I suppose if you're on B1, I'd close every door other than the one that basically leads you to the stairs, or the two that lead you to the stairs. So all the side rooms I'd close. I think. Tell me if you guys think there's a better option. On the second floor, you come down those stairs, close off the door from the hot spring because there is another secret way in that way.
Yep.
Close off the door to the dragon crystal on floor 2. Close off. So the hole, does that lead to the watery bit or the steam bit on the floor below? So B2, that hole, where does that lead to on B3? Does that lead to the...
So this one would lead not to the water one, but the one that connects to.
With all the pipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is all the area that you could basically overheat to massively push steam through. So whoever in this room would be, not destroyed, but severely hurt.
Yeah,
and you can
so-
do all these things from any one of these panels. So you don't need to be at the main panel to close
Yeah.
doors, open doors, whatever.
So I want to lead them through that chamber. So I want to close the. Sorry, I just. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Thank you. Close that door. Anything else, guys? Because then what we could do is, if one of us can either be a sentry there, or I can send like an arcane eye or my spectral mind to just hover in that steam chamber, and then when they come through, activate it and blast them with hot steam.
That'll be good. Yeah.
And then if we can all lay in wait, like we could lay in wait in either the dragon shard room. That could be very dangerous. I think about giving us enough room to maneuver would be probably the room with all the thermal activity, the thermal water. If like we try to organize our fight in that room, does that make sense?
Which room is that?
So on B3, there's the chamber with all the water in, basically.
Okay, yeah, the one that's
Because then,
thing.
can I ping? Yeah, that's where the, if I'm right, Mateus, that's where the stairs go down. The door is, yeah. So if we had the fight in there, and if we needed to run back and fall through, we could. There's also is this a panel here that I could activate stuff from?
Yep.
Cool. So that's close by if we need it. But if we had our last stand there, I mean, it could be a little bit precarious, but we could use that to our advantage. The water, is that if you were to fall into it, would you take damage?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And how far is the walkway from the water? Is it like flush to it, or is there a little bit of a drop?
I'd say yeah. It's like probably like 30 feet of falling. It's a large dome room.
Because that's really good for Fennec, because we know Fennec likes to push people off ledges.
I mean, yeah, it allows us to push other people into the water, but also they can push us into the water.
Yes. Hopefully, I can have a featherfall scroll prepared. We could set up some ropes or something like hidden in the water, or hidden like underneath, that we try to do it in a way that we know about it. So if we do fall, it's easier for us to get out. Also, I can make sure I have some spells prepared to get you out of there if we need to.
I could summon a steed to wait.
Yeah.
Maybe a leap, and then if we need,
They could swoop and grab you.
I can
Yeah.
also
give us some height over them to swoop down and attack.
I can also walk on walls and probably carry one person.
That's good.
So I could just pretty much just walk up and away.
I could polymorph someone if we needed to.
Also, guys, not to be a party pooper, but maybe try to find an endpoint because I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've been up since 4 a.m. 'cause of
Oh,
travel.
yeah, of course.
You're on London time still.
Yeah.
Yep. And with no sleep.
Yes. I think that's everything. Is there any other, like, I'm just trying to see if I've got any spells or anything that I can lay traps with, but I don't really have anything.
I was kind of hoping paladins would have the sigil, what's it called?
Oh,
The
yeah.
trap sigil thing.
That would, for like the rare times that is helpful, that would be great to have this right now.
I think that's a cleric spell, mostly.
So I will say you have a storeroom filled with stuff. Any kind of DUI type trap stuff. If you come up with anything using ropes or acid or tar or mirrors and ball bearings, whatever. It's probably doable. It's a fantasy world. You just have to roll well enough, and you can probably make it happen. Home Alone.
We also probably want to chat with Fennec once he's awake about what he can help with and his take on this.
Pair.
All right.
Like a
So-
water elemental down there that could shoot up boiling hot
Oh.
water.
Oh, that would be good.
Then it doesn't even matter then if it goes rampant, right?
Yeah. We just make sure we have to clear. Also, like, if we wanted to, if there was a way, can I raise the water level in there through the panels?
Yeah.
If we got them in there, retreated, I got to the control panel, I could lock us in and flood that chamber.
Mm. I mean, that would be great.
Well, I will say that over the course of the break to our next session, you could come up with plans and think about what
Yeah.
to do. And until that point, we'll see you next time.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Toodaloo.
Bye.